Hello and welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 10 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ community. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Monday, May 12th. We are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're telling you this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ plus evening news show. Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ plus community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 10,000 LGBTQ television stories.
We will produce the 25th anniversary of our Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. We present Pride Fete, Caribbean Pride on August 9th, and we declare Love is in the Air with Pride Fort Lauderdale on February 14th, Valentine's Day. Our magazine, events, television news, talk and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader communities.
In 2025, more than 100 community leader anchors will host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome to the table, back to the table, the incredible anchor who is Edward Otto Zielke. He's an accomplished brand influencer and marketing leader with a dynamic background in financial services and travel marketing. Edward currently serves as the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for the world's famous Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. He also serves on the Gala Chorus's Communications Committee. Edward, there's a new stage coming to Stonewall Pride this year. How exciting. Tell us what's happening.
Yes, thanks, Faye. On Saturday, June 14th, Tropics Grill, along with the Stonewall National Museum and Archives and Sky Vodka, is bringing a new stage to the south entrance of the Wilton Manors Stonewall Pride Parade and Street Festival. The stage will feature the music of the Rye Rivers Band, as well as local singers such as Glenda Granger, Eric Restivo, Malin Sofri, and more. There will also be a special extravaganza featuring Velvet Lenore, and the night will end with the 70s disco dance party. You can register for the special VIP area at tropicsgrillfla.com. That is such a great thing. I love Tropics so much. They're absolutely like such a staple in the LGBT, here in Wilton Manors, and they have such great events, and to have their own platform there at the Pride Parade is just amazing.
Right.
The chorus is going to be there as well, so it's exciting. So definitely check it out. They have some really great talent that goes in and out, there as well. Our artistic director Gabe Salazar also, sings there as well. So yeah. I think it's just a fantastic entrance into our parade.
And what a perfect place for it, right? What a perfect place for it, right at the entrance of Wilton Drive. How perfect. We have to give a big shout out going out to Bobby Blair over at Tropics. We love you. I've been going to Tropics like every Monday since they have like that half off the second entree thing. Their food is delicious because I'm broke. So it is what it is. But the food is delicious. Who knew? I always thought of Tropics as a staple, somewhere where you got to see incredible talent perform. And, you have a cocktail and you go over, catch up with some friends. friends. But they have delectable food options as well now. And on Sunday, they even have a brunch or something with like unlimited mimosas. And you know how much, we love that in our community,
You're just now paying attention?
I'm now just paying attention. But, this shows me growth.
Yeah.
This is what this shows me. You know what I mean? It's no secret to anybody that the Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival is one of my favorite of the year. It's when I get to announce the parade, and it's one of my favorite things to do, even though I have to hang out with Al Ferguson for 5 hours. But it's still one of my favorite things to do. And so just to see the growth of our Stonewall Pride Festival, that we're adding another stage.
Yeah.
With such incredible talent. Eric Restivo does not play. He's an anchor at this table as well. He's always on my show as well, on the FayWhat show. And his talent just is incredible in that little tiny body. Velvet Lenore brings it. Velvet Lenore doesn't do anything small.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay? And I'm like thinking, 70s party. I don't even like the 70s. But coming from Velvet, it's going to be a party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So what do you think? Why'd you put that face? Because of the 70s?
Who doesn't like the 70s party? Come on. Come on. But more importantly, I think it's great because the parade has been so condensed. Because of the physical restrictions of the area. So it's nice to see that we can add on and have more space to enjoy. And Tropics has always been, or that area has always been the entrance. So now it's more than just the entrance. It's actually part of the rest of the parade. And the stage just gives us more space and room to have that many more people join us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a good ad.
Well, I can't wait. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the new Tropics Stonewall Pride Stage and concert on June 14th. Next up, let's welcome my brother from another mother. He's Von Biggs, baby. He's a community outreach coordinator at Holy Cross Health. He's the vice chair of the Ryan White Part A Planning Council and a founding board member of Trans Ed. Von, Pride Skate Nights are moving. Tell us what is happening.
That's right, Faye. This monthly Pride Skates Night held at Extreme Action Park in Oakland Park are changing nights. Starting tomorrow, May 13th, Pride Skate Nights will be held on the second Tuesday of every month. This monthly event features a full bar as well as talents of Velvet Lenore, Brianna Patron, and music by DJ T Pro Mix. Tickets are available at extremeactionpark.com. Now, if you have not been to these events, they're really fun. It's like, I remember roller skating when I was a kid, although, I had the wood floors back then, right? It was a little different, it's a little different. You could hear those skates hitting the wood floor. But
right, and then that splinter on your ass.
Right,
Yeah.
Right.
It's the 70s, baby.
Right, it is. Totally the 70s. But.
Oh my God, but this looks like so much fun. Yeah. And, I don't know how long they've been doing Pride Skate. I've gone a handful of times, and it's just so fun to see gay boys on skates. I mean, it gets no better. And then you throw in a couple drag queens, and it's like, you see Velvet Lenore with some crazy cape that she's got on, just rolling down, right? And it's like, this is fun. This is amazing, And, this Extreme Action Park is huge. It's ginormous. It's got all these other arcade games and racing and stuff to do while you're there. So why not take advantage of it all while also supporting Pride, because this is also benefiting Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival.
Right. I also like the fact that it's in Oakland Park too, and that we're bringing a little bit more LGBT into Oakland Park. That's already up and it's already progressive enough, but it's good to see events that are out there too and other businesses really working with us. It's like an extension, I think, of like Wilton Manors in a way.
Yeah.
So it's cool that when neighborhoods do the same, support one another.
Of course.
We need to get a lesbian night for skate. Do 1 month for lesbian causes. Get those girls out there.
I love that.
I
love that.
Do more than softball and golf, ladies. Let's skate.
That is the big LGBTQ story. I'm not touching that one at all. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Pride Skate Nights, the second Tuesday of every month. Next up, let's welcome anchor Buddy Frey. Buddy supports many of South Florida's local nonprofit organizations like JFOY, Julian's Fountain of Youth, and the Stonewall National Library, Museum, and Archives. Buddy, Compass, oh my God, I love Compass. Compass Community Center is hosting the Stonewall Ball on June 28th. Tell us what's happening.
Well, it's that time of year, and this year's Stonewall Ball invites you to step into a bold, immersive experience that reimagines what it means to protect and uplift LGBTQ+ community. Through visibility, voice, and connection, we honor the power of the collective care. It's a celebration of resilience and a call to action to redefine what safety, advocacy, and love looks like for all of us. Wear red to stand for those who have been unseen, unheard, and underserved, and to declare that our identities, stories, and safety are non-negotiable. This event is for the 21 and up and starts at 7 p.m. on June 28th at the Kravis Center. Tickets are available at CompassLGBTQ.com. You know, this year is always important. I mean, we always try and celebrate, we try and grow, we try to remember, we try to be the best we can be. And this event is really important because it does what we sometimes forget, to protect each other. We're so busy having fun, we're so busy fighting for our politics and our lives that we forget to fight for each other. And this is an extremely important opportunity. So please check out the website, CompassLGBTQ.com. Ask your friends, wear the red, you know, it's just like gay days, wear red, be out there. You know, even if you just wear red, just do something to remember and to underserve.
You know, Compass does so much, and they do so much for LGBTQ plus youth. I mean, they're at the forefront. They're up in Lake Worth, right, which is like the Palm Beach area. But they're so incredible when it comes to LGBTQ plus youth. If you know of a kid in need, send them over to Compass. Julie Seaver and the crew will take care of them. This is just what they do. I was able to judge a talent show for them a couple months back, and just their compassion, their passion, their drive is just crazy. It's nuts that we live in a world where we have to redefine love.
Yeah.
You know, let that sink in, right? We have to redefine the word love. That is just something that it should just be natural for everybody to just give and receive love. And the folks over at Compass know how difficult times are right now, you know, so they want to unify everyone. They want you to take care of each other. They want you to redefine what love is and wear red and represent who you truly are.
I like that it's being done at the Kravis Center.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's so wonderful to see the visibility of the LGBTQ there. You know? You know, that's something that the chorus, hopefully, you know, will definitely get up there and be at the Kravis Center performing. That would be fantastic. So, you know, I mean, it shows that, you know, in a county like that where it's a little bit redder, we like, you know, that, you know, we do have allies, especially in the arts and entertainment.
Well, and it screams that we're not going anywhere. Right? It screams we're not going anywhere. I have hosted their Stonewall Gala in the past, and it was at their community center, and it was fantastic, right? So the point that it's evolved to the point in the times that we're in, with as expensive as everything is, right, and the cutting of funding and all that kind of stuff, for them to move it to the Kravis Center, like that is elevated experience, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and just imagine all the outfits that we're all going to wear. All the gay boys, all the women, the gowns, all of those. It'll be, well, we love a theme.
We love a theme.
Before we end this, I know that we have a national and international audience. I know not everyone can go to the Compass event, but because of the event and because of the time of year, I think it's important that we work together for everybody, especially the youth that are lost and just don't know what to do. So please, even if you just wear red on the night and you can't make it, make sure you're there for the youth. Make sure you're there and give them the direction they need.
I didn't know you were so sweet. Who knew? This tough guy. And if you're going to wear red, you can send them $10. Okay? Don't just wear red at home, all lonely and sad. That's no point. But all right? Send them some money.
But I mean, like, you know, help Julian's Fountain of Youth, help the Stonewall Library. All these different organizations are there for the future generations, and this is what this is about. Or even those people that are lost at 45 or 50 or 60 and still haven't come out. You know, this is the one time a year that I think we always remember those.
We need to support. We need to support. And just the times that we're in, a lot of folks had their funding cut, don't have the extra Pride money that we were all used to having, you know, right before Pride Month. You know, a lot of these organizations don't have it. So like Buddy said, it's more important now than ever. Wear red and send some money. Or go to the gala.
And I don't want to cut from Compass. I want them to be as successful as possible, but we need to go beyond Compass too.
Support everyone. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Stonewall Ball on June 28th.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, on June 8th, Arsht Impact is hosting a CommuniTEA dance Tell us what's happening.
Oh my God, folks, I am like beyond excited to be hosting this event. So Arsht Impact is hosting their 9th annual CommuniTEA dance on June 8th at the Adrian Arsht Center for the Performing Arts in Miami. The event starts at 4 p.m. and drag artists like Araceli, Sagittae, and Dominic Trix kick off the festivities with fierce performances. The event is headlined by the one and only Vincent. If you don't know who he is, you need to find out, all right? And will feature music by DJ Music Cat, who is also amazing. It's also being emceed by the hottest, tallest lesbian in South Florida, me, FayWhat. Get your tickets at theartcenter.org. They're free, by the way, but they do sell out every year. So this is their 9th annual CommuniTEA, right? And I've been going for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've got to tell you, like, that little lesbian girl inside of me wanted to host this event so bad, right? And when they came and asked me to host it last year, I was like beyond elated. You know, I said yes, and it was wonderful. I had my own dressing room, Edward.
Wow.
And it was the Arsht Center. It's the Arsht Center where we go and see all these incredible Broadway shows and all these concerts. And I was going to be on that stage representing our community. And they called me back this year. I can't believe it. So last year we had the incredible, oh my God, what is her name? Alex Newell from Glee.
Right.
And they were incredible. They were just superb. And this year we have Vincent, and they just are like riding on this high of this song that they have that's a cover of RuPaul's Supermodel, right? It's Vincent and Trixie Mattel, and the song is everywhere. Look it up, okay? And he's coming down here to grace our stage. Like, I am beyond excited to be hosting this. It starts at 4 p.m. You're going to be dancing under the rainbow for the 9th annual CommuniTEA at the Arsht Center. Get your tickets. It does sell out, and it is free 99. Gratis. No money. Ningún dinero. Zero. Okay? You can be there hanging out with all of us, celebrating Pride in a big way, dancing together for Pride at the Adrian Arsht Center on June 8th. So get your tickets.
You're not that tall.
Okay. I'm a little tall.
You're a little tall. You'll be taller.
I actually did get to go to that last year myself. The chorus did a booth there as well, and I did get to see you in action. So yeah, man, dreams do come true sometimes, right? Sometimes you put it right out there, and it's kind of like, you know, you want that to happen, and it happens, and that's so great for you. No, really. I mean, it's so wonderful to see that, and to see it again. You know, another big building supporter, the arts, Adrian Arsht Center, so massive in Miami. So it's so wonderful to always have their support every year.
Right. And it doesn't fall on deaf ears that I know how difficult it is right now for organizations to support us. Right. You know, and it's easy for some to just kind of stay silent, right? Not say anything, not do anything, which is worse for us, right? But like slowly we're seeing events that we didn't have last year, right? Not coming back.
Right.
So to see Arsht Center, because this takes money to put on, you know, Edward, right? Yeah. These things are not cheap to put on, especially when it comes to a location like that.
And you're seeing a little bit of that balance too. I mean, I'm seeing it too. You know, I have corporate sponsors that may not come back next year because of that. And so, you know, you have to see the wins when they do come in. And so there are wins, and they're out there. So.
And we need to celebrate it when they happen.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, that is the big LGBTQ plus story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media like this in the entire world. Support the LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the CommuniTEA dance on June 8th.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up trans rights. Hegseth issues ultimatum to trans troops to resign by Pride Month or else.
At the Defense Department, we continue to relentlessly pursue the president's agenda, especially on readiness. He put out an executive order a week into his presidency, stating the prioritizing military excellence and readiness, that expressing a false gender identity divergent from an individual's sex cannot satisfy the rigorous standards necessary for military service. We agree, and so we implemented that policy. It was challenged in court, and of course, we appealed. And 2 days ago at the Supreme Court, our policy was upheld. And so we're going to continue to advance that policy here at the Defense Department. So, in accordance with policy now reinstated, service members who have a current diagnosis or history of or exhibit symptoms consistent with gender dysphoria may elect to separate voluntarily. There's a timeline here, and then eventually involuntarily if necessary. This is the president's agenda. This is what the American people voted for, and we're going to continue to relentlessly pursue it.
After the Supreme Court allowed the Trump administration's ban on transgender individuals serving in the military, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth issued an ultimatum to trans service members. They have until June 6th to voluntarily resign from their positions in the military, or they will be discharged. This follows a statement he made during a speech to Special Forces operatives on May 6th in Tampa, Florida, where he said, quote, "Everything starts and ends with warriors. From training to the battlefield. We are leaving wokeness and weakness behind. No more pronouns, no more climate change obsession, no more emergency vaccine mandates, no more dudes in dresses. We're done with that shit," end quote. The Pentagon will begin the process of removing the over 1,000 transgender service members out of the military. You know, I've spoken to a few friends in the military who are trans, and one in particular that has decided to stay anonymous because of the current circumstances has said, quote, "Come fucking find me," end quote. Okay. Military folks are a special breed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. They are trained to live and die for this country, a country that doesn't even respect them and respect their rights, which is crazy, because you will speak to a military member that is being shunned in this way and they're still trying to protect the government, right? Because that's just the brainwashing, the love, the compassion, all of that all into one, you know? Everything that this man stated are things that we believe in, right? Like science, mandates, vaccines, DEI, equal rights for everyone. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad. You know, we had done a story here a couple of months ago also when this whole thing started. And the reality was that they don't even know how many trans folks are basically right now serving.
Right.
They don't have that number down. All right. So, I mean, so all these threats and all this like stuff is just to put fear into the hearts and minds of our poor community people that are out there serving in the military right now.
And that shows exactly like what other countries must think of us, is that we're so fearful of our own military people and disgracing. I mean, they're patriots, you know, and this is how we're treating them.
They're true patriots, not those people that freaking did what they did at the Capitol. Those are people who are not patriots.
No, I don't consider them patriots either. So it infuriates me when I see things like this being passed. It's disgusting.
You know, I'm thinking back on my knowledge about the military, and I just remember in the last couple of years that there's been a drop in voluntary
sign-ups.
Mm-hmm. I remember that they've lowered the standards, meaning that there was a certain level that you had to pass an aptitude test or an educational test, and I remember they lowered those standards. They're willing to take people that are less than in past history, but people like transgendered people who are busting their ass and being more than they've ever been before for our behalf, and they're saying,
Yeah. People that aren't mentally stable to have that position, they're allowing to have before our trans siblings.
They proved themselves by getting in the military. I mean, they met the rigorous standards that it would take, right? And
exceeded.
They're lowering their standards now, so
basically they're just going to take anyone that they want.
Yeah.
And at the same point, it's my understanding that Pete the gentleman who was speaking, I can't even pronounce his last name, I'm so irritated right now, that, you know, his military record is far from stellar, and there's questions on the reality of half the stuff that he talks about himself and half the claims he's made, and yet he has the audacity and the backbone and the balls to sit there and say, you're not worthy, when he still hasn't even been sober for 6 months.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And his ass is on the line right now from so many people in the Senate because he's fucking up so desperately that even Trump has been pissed at him. And he has the audacity to say, we don't want people like this. Enough with this shit. Pete, get the fuck out.
I mean, if you think about it, it's our transgender siblings. It'll be LGBTQ next. It'll be women next. You know. And
even if they volunteer and get the honorable discharge, are they going to go after their medical and then their benefits in years to come?
Yep. Right. Of course.
No.
Of course.
No.
Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up entertainment. Gay HBO head says on new Harry Potter that J.K. Rowling is entitled to her opinion. Gay HBO CEO Casey Bloys isn't a stranger to controversy. He had previously faced backlash for greenlighting the network show Confederate, a show where the Confederate States successfully left the U.S. and created a world where slavery and racism were commonly accepted. That show ended up being canceled. Now, as the network faces criticism for working with anti-trans writer J.K. Rowling on a new Harry Potter series, Bloys again seems unbothered. HBO already has one show that they produce with Rowling and BBC called CB Strike, and the new Harry Potter series continues to move forward regardless of public opinion. In an interview on the podcast The Town with Matthew Bellani, Bloys said of Rowling, quote, "I think it's pretty clear. Those are her personal political views. She's entitled to them. Harry Potter is not being secretly infused with anything, and she's entitled to those views, and I think people are pretty clear that she's entitled to them. And if you want to debate her, you can go on Twitter," end quote. Transgender advocates have protested both Rowling's involvement and the cast of the new show. You know, J.K. Rowling is disgusting. Okay, how about that? She's a TERF, all right? And if you don't know what a TERF is, she is the definition of what a TERF is, okay? So a TERF is a trans exclusionary radical feminist, all right? And you basically don't think that trans women are women, period. Right? Hard stop. You refuse to engage in the data. You refuse to think of the science. You refuse to think of folks being their true authentic self. You just disregard that as no facts at all. And that's that. And women are women, and that's that. Okay. I think that's disgusting. And I'm a woman sitting in this seat. Okay. So, I mean, J.K. Rowling is a TERF, and Casey Bloys, I mean, where are your cojones? You know what I mean? Like, it didn't go well with Confederate, which, mind blown. I mean, you could have seen that at the table that wasn't going to go. That wasn't going to fly.
Where was the red light on that one?
It got canceled, and, you know, all those people must have gotten fired because, I mean, come on, who was in your ear letting you think that might have been a good idea? And now here you are with all that J.K. Rowling represents. You're going to do something else with them. I mean, HBO is also the people with, and just like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you boys think about this?
Well, you know, to be honest about Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling, you know, I was never interested in Harry Potter. So I'm not interested in J.K. Rowling. So that's really more or less. So, you know, it's sad that she just can't think of that the other way, you know, for herself in terms of transgender. Maybe she doesn't understand it. Like, I don't understand Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. So, you know what? I'm not bothered by it. I'm glad people like it. So I just wish she had that, you know, empathy back. But she doesn't have that. No. So it's evident.
Edward, she's worth billions.
Yeah.
With a B.
And she has such a good influence on good, positive things, and she doesn't use it for that.
Can you imagine if she could, like, use that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hate, and that's what it is. It's basically hate.
Well, I'm just kind of stunned because, you know, okay, she can have her opinion. We're here in the United States. Everyone gets the right to their opinion. But you don't create more money for a bitch. Why are we buying her shows? Why are we buying... I mean, HBO, you've been struggling financially against Netflix and everybody else. Are you that desperate? Just because it's got our name on it doesn't mean people are going to support it. And you're getting rumblings from the supporters of Harry Potter and all those generations of people that have watched it. Even they're questioning this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was their childhood. You know what I mean? Like, I know gay boys that was their books. That was what they lived in. You know, we all found something to escape growing up, right? Because when you're gay, you don't fit into the groups that you want to fit into, you know?
But Harry Potter gave hope to the hate because it was about outsiders.
It was about magic. It was about being different. How did you do books about that and then not have have these
I
crazy
could have watched
views?
it and maybe enjoyed it, but now I don't even want to. So it's like, you know, oh, I hear about fairies, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll watch it, but no, I don't want to. So, you know.
Why give her the platform to be that much angrier and that much more hateful and that much more lost?
Yeah.
Stop making her money.
Stop making her money. And that means, and you know, and that's the Disneys and folks like that have like Harry Potter lands and all that. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so I don't know the names and all that. You know what I mean? Hogsworth or whatever the hell those things are. You know, all that keeps on putting money in her pocket.
Right.
And you know, gay boys and gay girls and theys and thems are going and paying their hard-earned money to go into this place and give this woman more money when she shouldn't be getting.
Think about it, though. Who's she getting her money from? All the gays that she doesn't like, right? But at the end of, you know, I grew up with the books. My kids, you know, had the books, and I read them all because I was like, I was involved in the church, and that was the big story then too, was the church didn't want the kids reading the books because of the sorcery and the witchcraft and the magic that was in them. It wasn't about anything else other than that. Yeah. And it's great what they did. And like you said, she could have such great influence in a positive light. Mm-hmm. And eventually I think that will happen, not from her, but I think we'll see the positive in it. But she's an amazing storyteller. Yeah. She is.
What a mind, what an imagination.
Right?
What representation for women you could be.
Right.
You weren't a bitch.
Yes.
Like, holy crap.
Right.
And what hatred she has.
Yep.
Huh?
What hatred she has. Mm-hmm. And
Listen,
HBO.
Call me, JK. Call me. We can sit down and hash this all out. I feel for people like this that I know are educated. I know better. I know have a heart in there. Right. If they could just sit with one of us and ask all the crazy questions. Even better, don't even sit with me. Sit with one of my trans sisters and ask them about their experience and ask them all the crazy questions and fears that you have, because you obviously are fearful that trans women are going to take over the world or something, which they should, and the world would be better.
But this story is about Casey and the poor decisions Casey's making as a gay man who leads HBO.
Yeah. And again, making another mistake.
It's seeing alliances that, that kind of, are questionable now. It's kind of like, who are you really aligning with? Is it about money? Is it about politics? Is it about artistry? You have to look at all of the angles with something like that.
And I get that challenge, but I just challenge Casey to think twice. There's so many good things, so many good things you can put your money to that I can guarantee will be a lot less challenging, a lot less hateful, and stop giving platform to people who hate.
Yep.
Right.
That's it. You want to entertain me? Make me laugh.
That's it.
Don't make me hate.
Yeah. Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up gay culture. Millions participate as national parks TikTok accounts offer challenges to take back our parks.
Yesterday, I made a post about Yosemite, and I said, if you're not following Yosemite, you should. I woke up this morning to about 500 comments saying, it's not just Yosemite, it's all the national parks. And it is Joshua Tree, Mount Hood, the Grand Canyon, the Utah Parks of Mountain Talk, the Smoky Mountain Alliance, Glacier National Park. It's all of them. It's all the national parks. Who is doing this? Who did this? Who's the first person that did this? You're brilliant. You are absolutely brilliant, whomever you are. You have obviously caught the attention of all the other national parks who are copying you, playing along with you. This is brilliant. I'm so excited to open up my page and see something from Mountain Talk. This latest one from Joshua Tree. What do you mean? We listen and we don't judge. No? Smoky Mountain Alliance? What are you guys doing? Anyway, if you're not following the national parks, go follow them. Go follow them all, because they are absolutely worth it. So I'm going to link a bunch of them here, but just type in national parks and just go follow them all, because it's worth it.
What do U.S. national parks, adult content creators, and risque gay songs have in common? If you haven't been on TikTok in the past few days, you'll likely think nothing. In a trend to bring awareness to the national park system and the funding issues they are facing, fan accounts for different national parks and monuments have gone off the rails in the most fun ways possible. It appears to have started on May 2nd when the Visit.Yellowstone account posted a video featuring OnlyFans star Jonathan Cain, followed by footage of the park. This has been followed by videos from other accounts getting into action, including Joshua Tree National Park, posting videos featuring spicy gay music from Dixie, Dallas. The people behind these videos appear to be the same people behind the Alt National Parks organization. This is a group of ex and current National Park Systems employees who have been protesting the harsh budget cuts from the Trump administration that has gutted the staff of the U.S. national parks and has left them desperately underfunded. As several of the accounts have also posted LGBTQ support, we have to admit that these accounts really know how to get us excited about nature again. I'll tell you, I had to watch some of these and I was really like, it was hilarious. I mean, that is actually brilliant marketing when
really
you think
is.
about it. And many people like myself, I don't really travel a lot. So, it's really good to get, to see. It's such a great gimmick to get in there and get to see those type of things that I don't normally get to see and see more.
Listen, this would probably get me or my gay boys, like Cal, okay? Like me and Cal don't like to do, we don't work out, we don't know where the gym is, we don't want to go hiking. Our vacations have to do with laying out and enjoying ourselves and eating a lot, not like hiking or climbing shit, right? That's just not our thing. But this is a great way to get us to go. I mean, think about it, all right? This is freaking genius. Like, many of us, that doesn't even it comes across our feed and we won't even look at it. But then all of a sudden you see Dixon Dallas, or you see Pedro Pascal, or you see, any porn star that you recognize, you're going to go, wait a minute. What is this? Wait, I need to follow them.
It's so clever. It's like reinventing, a new thing that where the LGBTQ plus community can go in and make money or something like that. So yeah, hands off to whoever did this. It's fantastic.
Well, I love that. It's the people that are protesting. Are these old employees? Are these people that are saying, God, national pastime is for families to be able to go to these parks, right? Isn't that what white people do?
Wait a minute.
No, so it's and to take that away by taking the funding away, that's ridiculous. People that have been park rangers have been fourth generation park rangers and have been completely ostracized and taken off their posts. Life-changing things happen when they cut this funding to these parks. This is exceptional.
And the parks have been breaking records the last few years. Every single year now, you have these parks that are actually shutting down or closing off entire areas where you can't go anymore. All because we have a clawback because Donald Trump needs a military parade on his birthday.
I mean, and a free jet, right? And a jet that he was just given, right? Yeah, but that's not
how it goes sometimes.
Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Buddy Frey, and let's queer up politics. Teary-eyed fraud George Santos begs Trump on live TV. Disgraced gay former Republican Representative George Santos recently had a meltdown on the Piers Morgan Uncensored show. The 37-year-old convicted fraudster said, quote, "I'm in the process of filling out an application for a pardon from the president. I'll take the clemency, whatever the president is willing to give me. I don't want this to seem like a political pitch. I want it to be a fair pitch. And I think there is no one better than President Trump to know what weaponized Justice Department looks like. This is exactly 7 years and 3 months in prison for a first-time offender over campaign matters. Just screams over the top." End of quote. He claims that the jail sentence would be harmful to his social standing and his family, and claims he helps support an autistic niece. He also expressed fear he would be harmed by immigrants while in prison in retaliation to his frequent and extreme anti-immigrant rhetoric. Santos was convicted of 23 federal charges of campaign fraud and has admitted to lying about his education, his work experience, and being Jewish. Now, I'm sure you could all read the sarcasm in my voice as I read that story, and it's very difficult for me. George, you deserve every bit that you've gotten. 7 years, 3 months means you can't get your pension from being a political senator, right? I'm sorry. You fucked everybody. You screwed yourself. You lied to your constituents. You lied to people giving you money. You stole money from people. 7 years isn't enough. If I was the judge, I don't think you'd ever get out. And I could care less about your fear and your tears and whatever fake empathy that you have. And calling Donald Trump, I pray to God this is yet one more chance that he's going to ignore you.
Well, he's brown, so Trump is not even going to take his call. That's not even.
And
point,
he's gay.
You know what I mean?
And he's gay.
And he's gay. He filled out an application. Like,
Yeah.
are you serious? Like, what is that
Well,
application?
just like
look
any other John Q. Public would have to do,
I didn't
obviously,
know. I
right?
didn't know you had to fill out an application. I thought it was filled out for you by somebody who's in support for you to get the clemency. I didn't realize that you, as
Had
the
to fill it
person,
out.
could fill it out yourself.
No.
I have to research that.
Anyone.
Oh, I had no idea. You know, I mean, again, this is only for a second. I feel bad for him for a second, and then it goes away, okay? It's just because I have human kindness, all right? And I feel bad when other brown people suffer, all right? So that's why. But the guy is ridiculous, and he deserves all of this, okay? He doesn't deserve the pardon. He doesn't deserve to get his pension. He doesn't deserve any of that, all right? Just some of the lies that Mr. Santos has told us. That he was a Broadway musical producer, right? That he had produced Spider-Man, Turn Off the Dark, okay?
Wow.
He was a sports star. Santos boasted that he had been a star volleyball player at New York College that he never attended. Another lie for you, right? Santos said he was a seasoned Wall Street financier and investor, that he was a Wall Street kingpin. And did you forget when he said he was Jewish?
Oh.
And what does that say for Long Island when
Wow.
people believed him? I just
Okay, and listen, and this is just four that I have to tell you. There's so many, and they keep coming.
I just wish he would just go away. You know,
Yeah.
at this point, it's kind of like, yeah, he's had his sentence, and it's such a sad story. It really is, because because he identifies in our community, it just puts a negative spotlight on us,
course.
and it always will. And it's sad. We'll always have that, and we just have to realize that there's going to be people, even in our own community, that might disgrace us, or that really have a really weird point of view, like Caitlyn Jenner comes to mind.
Or self-loathing like the log cabin Republicans. You know what I mean? It happens.
And this is kind of like, what we have to, look around and just say, where is it that's most important in our community, and where are the issues that mean the most to us at this point?
And this ain't it, And because, we're bitches.
So I don't think we need to have a spotlight on this person any longer.
No, but
You need to take the gay card, though.
I wish we could.
do your time and shut up.
I wish we could. One last thing, okay? Just between us squirrel friends.
Yeah.
Doesn't he look haggard?
I
Like,
don't
he's
care.
been through it. I know you
I
don't
said he
care,
looked-
buddy, but I mean, he used to be tanned and pretty. Not pretty, but I mean, okay looking. Like, he looks like he's been through the ringer a couple times,
Yeah,
you know?
he looks a little bloated, is what I.
Right? Like, I think they've taken the gay card away. I think that's what's going on.
They also took back the money and everything else.
No.
That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Von Biggs, and let's queer up faith. Viral moment as gay couple photobomb Pope Leo St. Peter's Square celebration with gay kiss. The world watched last week as the Vatican TV broadcast the announcement of the new Pope Leo XIV. As the camera panned across the crowd at St. Peter's Square, two men saw their chance to make a statement and share a kiss on camera. The late Pope Francis was the most LGBTQ affirming pope in the history of the Catholic Church. While Pope Leo had made statements against queer families back in 2012, his views seem to have since evolved, as it supported Pope Francis' initiative to allow the church to perform same-sex blessings. I think it's very interesting. This moment, this kiss, as we'll call it, wasn't just a photobomb. It was a prayer for visibility, for acceptance, and for a church that embraces all of God's children, and for those of us in the LGBTQ community. It's a reminder that we belong not just in the pews, but in the heart of the sacred. Let's continue to show up and love boldly, and believe that faith and queerness are not contradictions, but companions on the path of justice.
Pope Von.
There we go.
Pope Von. Oh, I love this. No, I love this.
Yeah.
And it took me back. I was talking to Edward about this before, about back during the Will and Grace times, right?
Yeah.
When Jack and Will took that kiss with Al Roper.
Yes.
That was just like, and I remember that moment being so important, even though it wasn't real.
But
right?
that could have been the moment that inspired this, you know what I mean? And like, that's what people in our community will definitely like tune into those type of things.
Yes.
So yeah, kudos to that happening, you know, and we get to see it on a very large platform. So it's fantastic.
Yes. And, you know, and it was a sweet kiss.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like all tongue ass grabbing like I usually kiss. You know what I mean? It was very very pretty, very, you know, I mean, and it was like, let's take this moment. This is our moment. Let's celebrate our love in such a wonderful, bountiful way. Like in front of all these people for this extraordinary moment.
Right.
You know, like I'm not quick like that, right? Or I'd be like, oh, damn, the moment's over.
No, but that's what was sweet about it, is because, I mean, I just saw it for the first time tonight because it was on Vatican TV. It was not on national or international TV.
Of course it's not going to be on national
Well,
TV.
but
It's
I
only on
mean-
Queer News Tonight, folks.
I don't mean that. I mean, you know, but it originated on Vatican TV, which is a closed, you know,
Closed circuit TV.
closed circuit situation. But it was nice that it was, you know, it was sweet. It was gentle. You know, lucky your wife is lucky if how you kiss all the time is tongue and ass.
I mean, that's
but, you know,
should kiss.
I agree.
But
I
that's not the
agree.
place for that. That's
But
not the place for
no, but I mean, but it was respectful. It was genuine, and it was a celebration of, you know, we're celebrating the Pope, but yeah, we're also celebrating the love that we're in the moment of.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought was so amazing about this. It wasn't in your face and gaudy and over the top. It was just like, we're celebrating a new Pope, and we have love in the space, and we're going to celebrate with each other.
And Vaughn, I want to take a moment to talk about your quote. Like, it's so beautiful. You know, like what were you sitting with that you wanted to write this?
It's that moment of visibility, because it's and it was innocent. It wasn't like you said. It wasn't a
tender.
grabbing. It
Yes.
wasn't. And they're celebrating, and you know the church has made strides for the LGBTQ community, especially in the Catholic Church.
Right.
And it's a way to take the opportunity to let's celebrate that. And I think that's the innocent part about it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad for this new Pope coming in. You know, we needed a win so desperately, you know. And
You
it
think
sounds
this is a win?
And I think it's going to be a possible win, too. Yeah, I mean, it seems like everybody's really liking him. And you know, I've been seeing reactions from him a little bit. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the MAGA people are not really enjoying it. So that
Which
kind
makes
of
us like him more.
that makes me like him a little more. So, you know, he may not be as, like, you know, progressively, you know, transparent with around the LGBTQ plus community, but you know, it's okay. It seems like a man of peace. So
Yeah.
But I think the point is, there's an important point there, saying that since 2012, when at first he was hesitant, being around the late Pope Francis, that he's evolving. The fact that he's an American, I think, is you know, a good point, because the point has been made that, you know, he's not as dumb as the MAGAs would like him to think.
He speaks 5 languages, I think.
But for the American Catholic Church, that has always been really up in arms about gay this and gay that, you know, the fact that he's willing to at least consider a position at the altar or a position in the room during service for a gay child or a gay individual is important. And I think that the fact that he is from America, he's going to keep, you know, the stories about J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, you can't sit here and twist the words anymore because the man doesn't speak English as a
first language. That's his first language.
And so, you know, the MAGAs are having a meltdown because now the Pope can go, no, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and there's no lying about it.
Exactly.
So, you know, as a Reformed Catholic, I mean, I'm hopeful for a change.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to go to Sunday Mass, but at the same point, I'm at least hopeful that there's space at the table when I do go with my family.
And it gives us hope. It gives us hope, right? I mean, once we stop learning, we die.
Right.
That's it. And this gentleman is smart. He's articulate. I love that his multifaceted background, right? Like, I don't know if it's grandparents or whatever, you know, his time in Peru, Haitians are claiming him, Dominicans are claiming him, you know, the Black origin, like, you know, maybe he's less progressive, but he is open to change. He's open to learning. Like, that right there is a home run in our book when it comes to how some of the old popes thought about us.
And you know,
he said that we belong in the pews as well.
yeah.
And that's important.
And he's continuing Pope Francis's message of immigration is good, poverty is not. We need to respect the poor. We need to open up our doors, and we can't be hateful, which is everything that MAGA drive that just goes batshit crazy over.
Yeah. Well, you know, when they're batshit or mad, we're happy. So there's that. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ and allied community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ+ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor at Queer News Tonight, FayWhat! And on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Edward, Otto Zielke, Vaughn, Biggs, and Buddy Frey. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ+ world, we hope that you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, by being transformative, and, of course, being queer. Good night!
Good night.